About finished, but a couple of just final notes. Patricia mentioned a very significant number in her remarks, 8 million feet of 65mm film shot by MacGillivray. David Lean did not shoot that amount in his entire career, and he's the most prolific user of 65mm in Hollywood. Chris Nolan is out shooting today, trying to catch up to MacGillivray Freeman. I don't know whether he'll make it, but he's trying. You know, I introduced to MacGillivray Freeman when I met Jim Freeman at Ontario Place in 1974, and I showed him the only IMAX camera that was left because we just busted the one in a parachute that didn't open the day before. And I knew then that these guys and gals were very special people. I'd like to declare MacGillivray Freeman, because of the 8 million feet of film that they've shot in large format in 65, the world champion of the most 65mm film ever shot in motion picture history. And they're going to keep it alive. South Pacific will add to that footage at Humpback Whales. They've just done an amazing job. So I'd now like to invite Greg and Barbara and the whole MacGillivray Freeman team up here to accept this award.
You know, thank you all. You know how much I love this industry. We've been in this industry for 40 years. When Jim and I started, thank you, Bob. He lives at my house and helps me dress every morning. Jim Freeman and I, when we started 40 years ago making Two Fly, we had no idea that the industry was going to grow. At the time that Two Fly opened, there were only 4 theaters. We had no sense that we'd ever make more than 2 or 3 prints. In fact, Conoco, our sponsor, said, well, your film will play there for a year and then we'll figure out something else. Of course, it goes, 37 years now? David Healy made all of the prints. In fact, he just announced the other night that he just finished his 250th print of Two Fly. The only other film that has ever had that many 70mm prints is Everest. And so those 2 films are sort of right there at the top of our industry. They were both very difficult to make, but oh, so much fun. You know, it's really, I think, what we all love doing, filmmakers, theater operators, projectionists. We just love to treat the public to the very, very best of technology, of life, and the wonders of nature. And if we continue to do so, I think we'll have a better world. So thank you for this, and thank you to my team. Look at this great team. You know, and there's another 30 or so people back at home doing the work right now. The post-production team is working hard night and day to get Journey to the South Pacific finished for November 27th. I just got a great team, and really this goes to them. Thank you.
Way too nervous now.
GSCA members are committed to lifelong learning through the films they make and through all the educational resources they create to accompany these films. The films are built into unique educational programs by each museum, classroom, and community.
To honor that commitment, we award the best film for lifelong learning to the film that best represents the development and presentation of giant screen film experiences from a lifelong learning point of view. One of the joys of making giant screen films is the opportunity to remain a kind of perpetual student.
Yes, films made for the small screen often rely heavily on the spoken word, but the giant screen is a very different kind of canvas. It's a very powerful tool, but the lessons it conveys best cannot be reduced to mere words. They have to be experienced. But when a giant screen sequence really hits home, its lessons can last a lifetime. The classic French film director Robert Bresson said, "Hide the ideas in your films, but hide them so that people will find them. The most important will be the most hidden."
This year's nominated films all use the power of the giant screen to educate and inspire. Let's take a look at those nominees.